Now at 6 a.m. on WKYT this morning, the Commonwealth prepares to say farewell to a Kentucky politician who served the Commonwealth for decades.
A state lawmaker's attorney says his client has legislative immunity and charges for DUI should be dropped.
And we're seeing outside a few sprinkles down toward the far southern zones, but those sprinkles and those rain showers will change over into snow showers. I'll show you when and what you can expect out of this on your back doorstep. Coming up.
And the Kentucky Wildcats look to shake off a recent history of losing at South Carolina.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Top of the morning to you from WKYT, and welcome in on your Friday. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. What a departure we are expected to take in terms of temperatures from what we saw earlier in the week. For the first time this winter, we are actually tracking the potential for some accumulating snow.
And WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris breaks down the threat on this first alert severe weather day. Good morning, Micah.
Hey, good morning, guys. We're sitting in the 30s for all locations. Now, it is kind of chilly outside, but well above average. Hey, at least it's not in the single digits and we have this system coming along, because that would not be good. I mean, the temperatures on the grounds have actually warmed up pretty well, right around 50 degrees there for ground temperatures out and about. So we're doing just fine. First Alert Defender Live Radar, we are ready for the snow. It's not going to be a huge impact, but there could be some impactful spots here and there. Right now, it's just a lot of rain down toward the south and southeast. Not a good day there for the Gulf states. And then you look at today's forecast, 37. Starts off with rain, changes into snow, and that's really later on during the evening and nighttime hours, as you see by 3 p.m. Still no snow accumulation, but after 3 p.m., really kicks up. And I'll show you the latest forecast coming up.
All right, see you then. Thank you. We began with a WKYT breaking news alert. Police right now investigating a reporting robbery at a Lexington business.
Police are searching around the Waffle House on North Broadway near the interstate. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel is there live now this morning with the late breaking details.
Good morning, everyone. We're here at the Waffle House, which is just off of North Broadway, and actually officers just took off from here about 5 or 10 minutes ago. They did tell us that right around 5 o'clock this morning, 2 men walked into this restaurant. One of them showed a gun and the other jumped over the counter and demanded the clerk open the cash register. The two then took some cash and then ran away here on Judy Lane, which is right next to the Waffle House. Police say that one of the men was dressed in all black, the other had a gray hoodie, one was wearing a mask, and the other was not. Thankfully, though, no one here was injured. Live in Lexington, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
Whitney, thank you. Now to a breaking news alert in southeastern Kentucky, where state police are right now investigating a murder in Bell County. The scene is south of Pineville on Old Bell High Road. That's just off US 119. State police say they received the call just after midnight this morning, and they say a woman was found murdered inside the home. We do not know how the woman died, nor if police are looking for a suspect at this point. Right now, state police are releasing no more information. They say they will get us updated in the next couple of hours. Well, he served the people of Kentucky for decades, first as lieutenant governor, then as governor, and then as United States senator.
And this weekend, Kentuckians will be able to pay their final respects to Wendell Ford, who died at the age of 90. WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Frankfort with the details.
Good morning, Rebecca and Bill. The well-loved political icon will lie in state here in the state capitol rotunda from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. The memorial service for Wendell Ford will be at 3 p.m. The former four-term Democrat, who was widely respected for faithfully representing his constituents' views, died at the age of 90 yesterday in his home. Last year, Ford went through a series of chemotherapy treatments in his hometown of Owensboro after a malignancy was found on one of his lungs. Ford's highly successful political career went from lieutenant governor to governor and then U.S. senator. He only served 3 years in the governor's mansion, but at one point he became the longest-serving U.S. senator from Kentucky. When Governor Steve Beshear learned of his death yesterday, he said Kentucky lost one of its great statesmen.
Number one, he listened. He could actually quit talking long enough to listen. And he learned a lot in that way, and he made a lot of things happen because he listened.
Ford's funeral will be at 11 a.m. on Tuesday at the First Baptist Church in Owensboro. Live in Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Well, a driver is charged after crashing his car into a Lexington apartment. Police say Jeffrey Lodge overdosed on drugs, causing him to crash into the Mount Tabor apartments near Alumni Drive and Yellowstone Parkway. Firefighters had to pull his car out from the building. Lodge is charged with DUI. No one in the apartment building was hurt, but two families did have to find a different place to stay. A man charged in the 1999 death of his niece has agreed to a plea deal. Stanley Deshawn took an Alford plea for murder, or for manslaughter, I should say. That does mean that he does not admit guilt, but acknowledges that there is enough evidence to convict him. Deshawn was charged with murder in the death of 17-year-old Jessica Deshawn. Bullitt County Police say she was killed after she disappeared from her home.
It's 6:05 here on WKYT this morning, and a big problem in a small central Kentucky town. Healthcare workers in Cynthiana have noticed a dramatic increase in heroin overdoses. The city is now looking to bigger cities for some help. Experts from northern Kentucky met with the Heroin Impact Response Team last night. Health leaders there say there were 230 heroin overdoses that were deadly in 2013 statewide. They expect that number to triple for 2014 once the final numbers are reported. A state senator wants his DUI charge dropped based on the 1891 Kentucky Constitution. Senator Brandon Smith was arrested earlier this month in Frankfort on the opening night of the legislative session. His attorney says an old state statute says members of the General Assembly are privileged from arrest during the legislative session, except in cases like treason or a felony. The Franklin County judge has yet to rule on Senator Smith's request.
A woman who filed a sexual harassment case against a former state lawmaker has been fired. Yolanda Costner worked for former House Democratic Whip Tommy Thompson. Representative Johnny Bell is now the state House Majority Whip. Costner's attorney says Bell fired her on Wednesday. She filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against former Democratic State Representative John Arnold. Costner's attorney says he plans to add Bell to her lawsuit. We could learn today what elementary school boundaries in Fayette County will look like next year. The committee in charge of redrawing boundaries expects a map of their first draft to be posted online today. The committee will begin reviewing middle school boundaries next week. Well, the Kentucky Wildcats back on the road this weekend. They travel to Columbia, which has proven to be a tough place for the Cats to win.
Including last year, South Carolina gave the Cats their first loss of the season in 2010, and last year, you'll remember Coach Calipari got kicked out of the game during his team's low point in the season. Maybe the Cats will have that chip on their shoulder this weekend. Kentucky tipping off against South Carolina tomorrow at high noon. It will be on ESPN. Should be a good game.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be tuning in for that. Let's check to see how things are moving on the roads this morning.
Let's go out to Officer Don. Here's a check on live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. First look at the circle, and good news on the north side with no problems between Boardwalk and Winchester Road. Should be one cycle of the light even through the major intersections. Let's get a look outside right now, and we'll show you what's happening as you plan to head out the door this morning for work or school with a live look around Lexington. It's quiet right now on the interstate through the northern split and across the Clays Ferry Bridge coming in from Madison County, by the way. That looks good, too. On our Waze map, nothing significant happening just yet. Traffic flow looks okay toward downtown and on the south side. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, and Officer Don and Deanna on 98.1 The Bull with some good music and fun, and we have more news coming up on WKYT this morning. We're just getting started.
It's a classic ride that's cemented in history. Coming up, a look at a car company that caters to the niche of movie buffs.
Pretty dry conditions outside at the moment for us. Down toward the southern zones, not so much. Look at a lot of that rain. Now look, that rain will change into a little snow across our region. I'll show you how much you can expect coming up.